jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
Yo, big shout out to the hottest chat in the MFing game. A-Side official. No negotiation needed, period. You already know WCS the first in the building. Shout out to Mike on deck. I see you. What's good, man? Mr. International Toby Bartlett on deck. Salute WCS in the hottest chat. And the YTC. We're global, baby. We're global. You already know it, Toby. It's better than be global than just goddamn local. Shout out to G5 Gabe, TWT in the building. What's good with the G5? How you feeling, man? I see you on deck. Salute to everyone that's coming to the building, tuning in. We're going to talk about the ring ratings that just came out. And of course, reading, putting the description out there, divisional roster. New rankings is confusing at 140. When will they fight each other? And the most important part in this perspective is that what's the point of changing up the rankings if it don't, pretty much mirror up with the pound for pound? I know this divisional rankings and not pound for pound, but it's a bit confusing. And what I mean by that, well, you have to see for yourself, man. We have to go through this and talk about it. We're gonna have to have some discussions. And that's what we're going to do. Ring ratings, 140-pound divisions. We're going to try to break this shit down and try to find out what is the criteria that base these positions or these listings at the 140-pound division. Champion, Teofimo Lopez, he's not the only champion at 140 pounds, but he is the ring champion. WBO world champion. All right. Behind him is Devin the Dream Haney. Now, as you notice, this is a picture when he was undisputed and he earned every bit of that. But currently, he do not have a title. But he is still ranked number one. And I'm not sure if he's still competing at 140 pounds. Jack Catterall just coming off a superb win at 140. Over Regis Progress. You know what I'm saying? Jack Catterall touted as the person who actually defeated Josh Taylor but didn't get the nod. You know how those type of results, they're good for conversation, but they're not recorded for the record books. You know what I'm saying? So it really don't count. Good for sidebars and while you in your leisure, just chilling, having a drink or two, smoking, and you just like talking about this boxing, and you say, hey, now, hey, you know so-and-so big. That's the talk they give about Catterall, right? But somebody who actually did defeat Josh Taylor in his own mind of minds headed into that fight for the undisputed was Jose Ramirez. He went in there and said, I know I got him. I can beat Josh Taylor. I know I could. In his thoughts, in his heart of hearts, Jose Ramirez, number 3, believed that he already had Josh Taylor. He had all the tools, the physicality and everything, and he lost. The only loss on his 29-1 record and 18 knockouts is Josh Taylor, y'all. Number 4, Liam Paro. The IBF. Come on now. The IBF champion that shook it up. Sent the little shimmers through the 140-pound division. Because, goddamn it, who's seen Subriel Matias run into this brick wall? Who would have thought he would have lost his title? I mean, we're talking about a guy who's a come forward type of fighter, give no give no ground, stand there and fight, break his opponent down over time. But Liam Paro went in there and fought a very solid fight. And he handed Subriel Matias his second loss. You know what I'm saying? He handed him his second loss. It was wild, huh? We thought, and look, I thought at least that Subriel Matias was going to be in there for quite some time as reigning champion. I thought so. Serious. Alberto Puello coming off a superb win, notable win of Gary Antoine Russell. Very tough fight. You know, he came off a drug suspension and was able to make it back to the ring and fight for the WBC interim championship. And then, you know, when Devin Haney, you know, came off the title for champion in recess, I believe, Alberto Puello was next up. So Alberto Puello, the WBC champion, sits in number 5. And I'm asking myself already, why? If he's the champion and Catterall isn't, and look, hold up. Who did Devin Haney get the title from? Regis Prograis. Is Regis on here? Or he's not going to be able to get on here because he lost to Catterall. Who did Devin Haney get the title from? So Devin Haney got the title from Regis Prograis, who was just defeated by Catterall, right? Why is Alberto Puello up here? Are they penalizing this man for email? You have mail. Ding, ding. You have mail. Why is he being penalized at number 5? Liam Paro, IBF, is sitting at number 4. But yet Jose Ramirez is in front of 2 champions thus far, Liam Paro and Alberto Puello. How and why? Can somebody justify the criteria for which these fighters are in the position for which they stand? Something isn't right. Because if Catterall just beat the former champion who lost to Devin Haney, who no longer has his belt, are you giving Devin Haney the recess freaking stamp to say, hey, that's that therapeutic exemption I was talking about? Did Devin Haney get the therapeutic exemption? No title, but he still can remain idle. Right there as if he had the belt. So what's the point of going to recess? You're just going to be right there, you know, next to the ring champion. What the hell are we talking about? Is Devin Haney still holding the undisputed stamp of appraising value? Being that if you look, the only other undisputed champion on this list is Josh Taylor. So how many times since Josh Taylor has 2 losses and he was undisputed? Let me not get out of here. Let me not. Number 6, Subriel Matias. We all know who he is. We all know he lost to Liam Paro, but he's still sitting at number 6. And see, I would be like, okay, maybe they're going off a point system on how many defenses that you had, how long you was champion. You know what I'm saying? What was your tenure like? Who did you fight while you was reigning champion? And you know, I'm saying to myself, how can Subriel Matias, a former IBF champion, be on the list in front of any other champion? How does this criteria work? That is my question. Number 7 sits Josh Taylor, former undisputed champion. And if you already know, Josh Taylor, of course, vacated his titles and he lost to Teofimo Lopez. All right. So there, after that fight with Teofimo Lopez, he went in there and fought Jack Catterall. Now, check this out. 2 unified champions that Josh Taylor fought. He fought a former unified champion, undisputed in the franchise era, and Teofimo Lopez. He lost that. He lost his freaking ring title, and he lost his WBO championship. The very same fighter who fought Josh Taylor while he was freaking undisputed and lost was Jack Catterall. So he comes back around for part 2. This time, Josh Taylor with no belts. He loses. But I'm saying to myself, how is Catterall top 3 coming off of Progress? I'm just curious. You know, like what is going on with the Josh Taylor though? Is Josh Taylor getting points for stepping in there with Catterall, who hasn't been champion yet? Is he still maintaining points with Teofimo Lopez? And also, is he still maintaining the undisputed appraising points, the boxing FICO points for going in there May of 2021 and unifying the division at 140? Is he still holding points for that? Because I'm like, if he's still holding points for that, this doesn't make any sense how the newcomers, right? With Josh Taylor having no belts, the newcomers being in front of Josh Taylor. Why are y'all in front if they're giving points for what you've done previously? How is Josh Taylor, a guy who fought Jose Ramirez and unified the entire division, how is Jose Ramirez, who has 1 loss, Josh Taylor has 2 losses, how is Jose Ramirez sitting in the top 5? How can he be within the top 5? What has he done since then? What has Catterall done? Fight champions? What is allowing him to get this new ranking? So we see Josh Taylor down here, of course. And then we see Andy Hiraoka. I would say Hiraoka. He's sitting at number 8. And you know, from 8 to 10, it gets a little fuzzy because I can see Hiraoka being down here, Richardson Hitchens being down here. You know what I'm saying? Hitchens is pretty much have a fight coming up. So Hitchens, number 9, is about to face Liam Paro, who sits at number 4. And it's funny how, you know, this whole situation works, because I'm saying to myself, what are they going off of for Hitchens? You know what I'm saying? Why isn't Hitchens up there next to Paro like they do on the pound for pound list when they trying to make a freaking fight happen or a fight coming up? How is Hitchens number 9 and Paro and number 4? But I can understand why. You know what I'm saying? Because he beat Super El Matias, and I think if anything, Paro should be up here right next to Haney. You know what I'm saying? That's what Paro should be. Alberto Puello should be up here in this, you know, this upper echelon up here. Remove Catterall, remove freaking Jose Ramirez, and show the world that titles freaking matter. You have champions who can be up there on the pound for pound list, but of course they're different divisions. We're talking about a single division, and it's like the champions don't fucking matter. But look, if you look on the ranking, the sanctioning bodies, the champions are at the top because they're champions. They're holding the crown. They're holding the strap. But then you look on here at the ring, and you group them together, 140-pound rankings, and the champions are spread out, and they have lower positioning or ranking than fighters with no straps. That's stupid. 10, El Rayo. He defeats Isaac Cruz, a former champion who beat Rolly Romero, a former champion. So El Rayo fights an actual champion and wins. What is he being punished for? What is El Rayo being punished for? I'm just curious. Is he getting punished for the Chris Colbert 1-1, the rubber match? Because he can't be getting punished for that the way he knocked Chris Colbert out. He can't be. He can't. Maybe it was just the fact that he stepped in the ring with Chris Colbert. First of all, maybe they could have said, you know what, your team could have did a better job because there's no way you should have went back in there against Chris Colbert. You know what I'm saying? And there's maybe he's getting punished for Chris Colbert, but shout out to El Rayo. Shout out to El Rayo. You know what I'm saying? WBA champ. What's going on with this? Why don't they have Jose Valenzuela up there with the champions? Isn't he a champion now, dog? Huh? Or they not allowed to post the WBA information up in here because Turkey Al-Sheikh is doing administrative business. Is that why Jose Valenzuela cannot be recognized with those 3 syllables? But Jose Valenzuela actually be the champion. So why is he in the bottom 2, barely hanging on to the back door if he's a freaking champion? How is he behind Richardson Hitchens, Andy, Josh Taylor, Subriel Matias? How is he behind them? Seriously, how is El Rayo at the bottom? How is he behind Jose Ramirez? Is it the lack of experience because he's 14-2 and 9 knockouts? Is that the reason? Or I'm just trying to research, you know what I'm saying, do some psychological research on the criteria that is based off the shifting and positioning of these fighters on the 140-pound junior welterweight pound-for-pound list. You know what I'm saying? How are they ranking their fighters at 140-pound division? I see Teofimo. You know, I see that. But everything else, it becomes distorted. It reminds me of looking at Bubbleback TV with the co-hanger sticking an antenna. Some days you're going to get clarity, and other days you're going to be up there working your biceps, forearms, shoulders, delts, and all that shit, trying to maneuver that freaking co-hanger. And you going in the closet, you know, breaking co-hangers in half, trying to find a co-hanger, put the aluminum foil on there. Yeah, that's this ranking system right here gives me that. Why is Jack Catterall number 2? Based off of Regis Prograis that lost to freaking Devin Haney. When Jack Catterall fought him, Jack Catterall had pretty much went in there with a fighter that was defeated by Josh Taylor, who's on this list. Regis Prograis was defeated by Devin Haney. I mean, who's being punished for this shit? He had the opportunity, you know, to take Josh Taylor's belt. He couldn't get it done in the WBS. We're talking about Catterall facing Josh Taylor too, and coming up the same way Regis Prograis did. But is Catterall earning extra points but fighting a 2-time champion than other fighters in the division? Is that one of the primary criterias? Seriously, because Jose Ramirez fought a 2-time champion, Josh Taylor. I mean, he fought a world champion. He was there for the unification match. Is that why they put him next to Catterall? Because Catterall has been in there with some names and fought some former champions. I don't know. You tell me, man. You tell me. I'm not really understanding how this all works out. It seems like Alberto Puello is being somewhat semi-punished because of the way he got his belt, elevated, or whatever the case may be, or even popping dirty for freaking banned substances, you know, being suspended. Liam Paro, I mean, what did he do wrong except go in there and defeat what many considered the boogeyman at 140-pound division, just waiting to get his shot? And Paro shut that down. You know, 25-0, 15 knockouts. He went in there and did his thing against Matias. And then Josh Taylor. Who's saying he's the same Josh Taylor that was there before and the king of the division? You know, the very same guy they say he lost to the first time, he lost to in a rematch. That's after losing for the Teofimo Lopez. You know what I'm saying? How is he ranked at number 7 in front of El Rayo? Is it because he was undisputed? Because rumor has it that Josh Taylor was moving up to 147. That was the rumor. What do y'all think over there? How in the hell is this structure even working out? How is it? Do y'all have any criteria for this? You know what I'm saying? MKB, what's good? Marlon King boxing on deck. He said the 140 is stacked. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I was about to get to that. You know what I'm saying? I was about to get to that. Speaking of the 140 pound being stacked, I propose this question. You know, this holds a lot of weight in the hearts of a lot of people come 2025. We know Richardson Hitchens has a fight coming up with Liam Paro. We can't wait for that. Okay. But when are we going to see the champions fighting each other? When are we going to see someone attempt to become the undisputed champion at the 140 pound division? We see all the names up there. You know what I'm saying? We see the names. But when is Teofimo going to face another champion at 140 pounds? Liam Paro, he's about to fight, but he's not fighting another champion. He's fighting Richardson Hitchens. Who's next for Alberto Puello? Who's next for freaking Jose Valenzuela? I heard at one point in time, Scuttlebutt, he wanted to freaking fight Teofimo Lopez, but of course, Valenzuela is not a big name for Lopez. So who is he going to fight next? And also, you have to look at the ranking system and see who's ranked in what sanctioning body. You know what I'm saying? Who's going to be up next for these fighters? But it's a lit division, like MKB said. But how does the fire get started if the champions are unwilling to ink and step in the ring? What about inking the contracts, sending the paperwork, so we can at least get a unification? And that's the dilemma that we in right now. We in the holding pattern dilemma. We have champions that's on deck that's fighting other fighters that's in the ranking system, just like 147 pound. When is somebody going to start the fire? I see you playing around with matches. When is somebody going to start the motherfucking fire? Just pour some gas in that goddamn cup and throw a match in there and get the fire started. When we going to see 147 pound? We have 2 hot divisions right now. 140, 147 pound. What are we waiting on? Is it a no fire zone? I mean, 140 is lit. We have former unified up there, Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney that's at 140. This is supposed to be up and jumping. Catterall coming off a superb performance. Jose Ramirez only 1 loss. He's still competitive in the game. Matias, Puello, Paro. Man, it's a hot division. Not to mention Richardson Hitchens, Hiroka, Valenzuela. It's a damn good heavy division right here. But we don't know what the criteria is for them, you know, ranking these fighters as such. And also, we don't know when they're going to fight each other. The only fight out of these 10 fighters outside of Teofimo Lopez is Liam Paro fighting Richardson Hitchens next. I haven't heard anything else, man. Not to mention 35 is right below. And the good thing about it, it's nobody with a big name that's talking about moving up to 140. So this 140-pound division, in my opinion, is going to be like this for a while, because those big names that we know that's at 135, they haven't showed any effort to say I'm moving up or stepping up to 140. Yeah, it's been talks. I heard Keyshawn say that he'll fight so and so at 140. He'll fight Tio at 140, but Tio he didn't give it any attention. But Keyshawn did put it up out there. He said I'll fight him at 140, but that doesn't mean he's moving up to 140. You feel me? Regis lost twice. I feel Devin Haney moved right. It was risky to go to Australia without his dad. So what you saying, MKB? So you trying to say that the statute of limitations is still active for Devin Haney based off his travels to the Aussie double? Is that what you're saying? I mean, I respect what you're saying. You know, that was him going over there, the Aussie double, winning, going 2-0, picking up the titles and defending the titles. But that was at 135. That was at 135. Hold on for a second, y'all. Arnold Brown on deck. I see you. He says Catterall is where he's supposed to be presently. Why is that, MKB? I would like to know. Why do you say he's where he's supposed to be in front of champions? If they're current reigning active champions and Catterall has faced champions, how is he where he's supposed to be? I want to hear that criteria there, MKB. How is he where he's supposed to be? If he's been in there with champions, so you trying to tell me he get participation credit? He get 2 to 3 points on this boxing FICO because he has attended fights with former champions. He didn't get it done against Josh Taylor. He fought Regis Prograis, no title. So he get participation points for no strap. Is that what you're trying to tell me? So the current reigning active champs, Liam Paro beat Matias in the ring. Why is Catterall in front of Liam Paro? Because he fought the former WBC champion who lost to Devin Haney? Is that why you're saying Catterall's where he's supposed to be? I'm just trying to scramble this like some eggs on a Sunday morning. Let me keep it moving, though. I appreciate the points. Appreciate the points. In my opinion, Devin and Crawford still have an undisputed disposition in place from us, the fans at WCS. They still have an undisputed disposition. You know, I have to disagree with you. I have to disagree. The only one that holds that disposition, as you call it, is Teofimo Lopez. He is the ring title holder because Josh Taylor was never defeated at 140. If anybody holds that disposition, that's Teofimo Lopez. Now, to say Devin Haney at 135 Teofimo beat Josh Taylor at 140. Devin Haney at 135, though it was commendable and it's saluted. That fighter that he was in there with, George Kambosos, is long gone. He was stopped by Lomachenko. There's some value that has been reduced. I mean, for the low, when they talking about Kambosos, for the low. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I understand he went to the Aussie double, but as far as that value being held, sustaining itself, no, that's over. I get it. How you can kind of put that together, but we have to look at that being at 135, and Kambosos really wasn't that top name. You know what I'm saying? But look, we can say this about Regis and who he's been in there with at 140, and Regis got credit for stepping in there with Josh Taylor. At the WBS, we give him credit for that shit. We give him credit for picking up the WBC title, but also, with Devin defeating Regis, Devin was also beat by Ryan, and it was changed to a no contest. We know that, but he was never undisputed at 140, nor did he fight Josh Taylor for the ring. Hold on for a second, y'all. All right, we good now. My bag. Shout out to the OG Bruce Gas, Boxing Jazz, and more in the building. What's good with you, Bruce? Carlos on deck. What's good with it, Carlos? How you feeling, bro? Monty King Boxing, salute to him with the $1 super chat on deck. I mean, super sticker on deck. Appreciate you supporting the channel all the time. That Monty King, you know what I'm saying? Monetarily, your donations is much appreciated. Ramirez definitely not top 5, but just like you did previously, anyone that's in the chat, can you explain what you believe the criteria might be for these fighters and how they're listed in the 140-pound rankings. What looking at these positions, what do you believe is the criteria they're basing this off of? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I care to hear about any suggestions or any ideas that you think that may be it with the rankings, okay? Because this is just everywhere. It's quite confusing. You know, if we're going off the basics, you know, the surface level type achievements that we always go to, the go-to surface level achievements. You know, we go to box rec and then we examine who they fought and then who those big names fought. And then if they're champions, we look at who they defeated, when they defeated them, and who did that former champion defeat to get the belt, if any. So that's what I would like to know. I would like to know, how do you what is your thought process? How would you collect evidence to validate these fighters' position? That's all. 140 is very unpredictable because they barely mix it up. I mean, I want to know, how did they mix it up to put them in these positions? That's all. I have to make another account. Okay. William Cepeda still at 140, right? No, William Cepeda is not at 140. From my understanding, William Cepeda was at 135. I can double check. It does nothing. You know, it does nothing. William Cepeda is what, 135, ranked across every division. I mean, that's pretty much an easy one. If that was a trick bag question, I don't know. That might have been a trick bag question. You know how people just be getting ready for the holidays and sipping on that eggnog I told you about, where they walk in the package store and tell the, ask the freaking clerk, hey, can you get that special off the back? Yeah, that November special. Yeah. The mix. Yeah, that cocktail. Yeah, that special sauce. Get that one out the back. I'm going to talk that boxing talk by any means. Yeah, for sure, bro. For sure. I appreciate it, man. And besides MKB, let me know what your thoughts are as far as what they're using to place these fighters where they are in the rankings at 140 pounds. That's all I want to know for the listeners and everything, and for myself. I'm looking for, always I'm looking for criteria for education purposes. Lopez ain't got no energy to prove he's legit. Haney seems willing to get out of the way. Rayo, my guy, but it got to be some order. So what do you mean exactly? Rayo, it got to be some order. So you're saying Rayo, who defeated a champion, a current reigning champion, are you penalizing him, MKB, and anybody else in the chat? If you agree with Martin King Boxing, are y'all penalizing El Rayo for beating Isaac Cruz, who beat the weakest freaking champion at 140 pounds at the time, based off his gift from freaking El Barroso, the grand old man of boxing? Gifted stoppage by Tony Weeks. Are y'all penalizing El Rayo for that? I mean, what is the limitations on this, yo? Come on now. What is the freaking limitations? Is y'all basically saying that the WBA, the current reigning WBA champion El Rayo, is going to get punished? Nothing to his culpability, nothing of his culpability, but y'all punishing him for defeating Isaac Cruz, who beat Rolly Romero, who you all know very well was coming off a knockout prior to moving up to 140. And then also, when it was time for him to step in there and have some type of defense of his title, Tony Weeks executed the orders. Rolly Romero was dancing all. He was going right back to that 135-pound disco ball that Tank had him in, up in the ropes. It's electric. Boogie, boogie, boogie. We don't know it. I mean, it took him right back over there near the ropes again. Barroso hits hard. That's what freaking Rayo said. But I think y'all punishing El Rayo for Rolly Romero. We have a lot of O's in here. You know what I'm saying? I believe y'all are punishing El Rayo for Rolly. Rolly got a gift coming off a knockout from Tank. Isak Cruz came up from 135. Also has Tank as a common opponent with an L on this record. He defeats Rolly Romero, right? With some of Tank common opponents on his resume. And then gets beat by El Rayo, who also at one point in time was at 135. I mean, I can only give you the ins and outs, you know what I'm saying, of just to try to figure out why are they putting these fighters? Why is El Rayo sitting at the back door number 10? See, when Devin Haney was placed number 10 on the pound for pound, that is different. You know what I'm saying? That's across the spectrum from division to division on what they believe to be the top pound for pound fighters in the world. But this is the division. And internal to the division, things are not adding up, yo. Things are not adding up, man. Wrong division. But I appreciate you dropping info, but wrong division. That's way off topic. This is clearly 140. That was entirely, but look, I may potentially revisit that after I'm finished with 140. Okay. You know what I'm saying? It's not like it's not a good question about Xander, but you know very well that they're moving Xander for the big fight. You know that. The youngest fighter ever to sign the top rank. That's the Puerto Rican golden child. Xander Zayas is no Edgar Berlanga, yo. Like, he has a huge Puerto Rican fan base, but not so much as Edgar Berlanga when it comes to the culture, but when it comes to boxing, I believe Xander's fan base is bigger than Edgar Berlanga. Not to get off topic. It's like 135 and 147 want to stay irrelevant. Shakur and Keyshawn are comfortably prepared to face anyone around them from what I see. Okay. So you're trying to make them irrelevant. You're trying to make the 140-pound irrelevant right now by talking about 135 and 147. But I did bring them up, though. You know what I'm saying? I did bring them up. I see your point. Shout out to Andrew Charles on deck, man. What's good with Andrew? Yes, sir. That's what I'm getting at. The jab got me sold on Devin boxing prowess. So the jab, you're trying to say physical components when it comes to the anatomy of a boxer. His jab is holding him down, along with his former belt that he was holding. You still giving him, I think, when it comes outside of Teofimo, I think Devin is still holding that top spot with no belt because it was changed to a no contest. He did everything he was supposed to do with Ryan. He made weight and everything like that. And based off him being formally undisputed, like you said, he's the champion in recess. You know, that's my assumption when it at the end of the day. You know, I believe they still giving Devin Haney that top-notch position, and Alberto Puello is down slots because he's still the champion in recess. And it seems like Alberto Puello is being held in the cellar for receiving that email during quiet hours. He received the email during quiet hours. That's why I think he's being put in in-house detention as a champion at number 5. That's all. Oh my God. Let me see. Depends. I think some fighters have to be placed because if they're not halfway authentic, we would get suspicious. Catterall just a guy looking in. He's edging closer to fighting Haney or Lopez, I believe. I can see that. If Devin selects to stay at 140 pounds, you have to pay a fee to get rank. How you move up is anyone guess. Okay. Always drop some educational tips. You have to pay a fee to get ranked. Well, you can only pay so much when it comes to the ranking system. I mean, I find that may have some truth to it, but not as much as you would think if you're grading from 0 to 10, 10 being the highest. I think you have to be somebody to actually pay to get ranked anyway. And look, which makes no sense, which continues to prove to us that this entire system of boxing, it's other people that are getting paid and benefit off it more than the actual fighters who are answering the bell to compete. You're trying to tell me you have to pay to get ranked? If you have to pay, that's not like the first time I heard that, but let's be realistic here. You have to pay the sanctioning fees for whatever belt you're holding. And Trump is pretty much saying you have to pay to get ranked. Sort of kind of here and there. So therefore, if you're a champion, what's supposed to be automatic isn't, unless you send that non-refundable check. Just like requesting an exception for your mandatory. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that shit crazy, dog. He whooped Regis and Taylor. Those guys hold more weight than Perro. He whooped Regis and Taylor. Those guys holds more weight. He whooped Regis and Taylor. But see, he only got credit for one though, Martin King. You know what I'm saying? He only was credited for one. I understand if we're going off the eye test, you know what I'm saying? The litmus test, just going off basic fandom type of assumptions. Like I said earlier, yeah, I thought Catterall beat Josh Taylor the first time, but he only on record at that time. We're not going the second. We're talking about when he had the opportunity when Josh Taylor was champion. That's when it mattered. We're talking about championship bouts. He didn't get the recorded win for Josh Taylor, but he earned the recorded win for Regis Prograis. Both of them, former champions. But the one that really should have mattered is if he fought Josh Taylor when he was champion and beat him then. Now we're talking about a whole nother conversation about Jack Catterall being at the top. He fought Regis when Regis didn't have no belt. But is he getting credit for fighting what? Unified champions? That's what I'm searching for. I'm searching for the criteria. Where are they? How are they gaining points? How are they gaining points to be placed in the ranking system based off who they fought, when they fought them, if they had a belt during that time? How does it work? That was a firefight, Regis versus Taylor back then. Yeah, it was a nice one. That was one of Regis' better performance to me. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. All I know is BoxRec didn't agree on Lopez being undisputed. The sanctioned body didn't recognize Lopez in 3 of them. Well, you hear me say undisputed in the freaking franchise era. Now, Teofimo Lopez wasn't the first fighter who petitioned for a franchise belt. Canelo was. And then it was Lomachenko, then Teofimo, then Cambozo, and then Devin Haney. No, look, before Cambozo picked up the titles along with the franchise, they inserted Juan Estrada, who was elevated from WBC to franchise champion. That's when Jess Rodriguez started to climb that ladder and make his presence known with the Carlos Kudras and Sor Rungvisai fight. Won the title, defended it, dropped back down to fly, picked up a title, unified, and then jumped back up here and fought the very same guy who was elevated the franchise champion. He fought Juan Estrada, who was previous on the pound for pound list at number 8. You know what I'm saying? I mean, hey. Now I ain't trying to trick you. Cepeda is so irrelevant. No, but you said at 140 though. I mean, you know boxing better than that. So being that I hold you to a different standard, it seemed like you was trying to put me in the Halloween trick bag. You know what I'm saying? I mean, being that we're not that far removed. You know what I'm saying? Everybody know William Cepeda, when it comes to boxing talk, is ranked across in every sanctioning body. Numero uno. We just wait for him to step in there. I may not have the answer. No, man, you know, conversation is what it is on here. Conversation, participation, education. You know what I'm saying? Conversation, participation, education. That's all. Okay, Catterall. Okay, got you. Interesting. Juan Estrada was a good pick for the franchise. I've always enjoyed his skill set. Yeah, you know, Juan Estrada has moved up, you know what I'm saying, from superfly to bantamweight now. And he's pretty high up in the WBC rankings too. But that's where he's at, you know. But since I'm talking about let me revisit what Trump said up here. Was it Trump? Okay. Trump had mentioned how did Zayas get ranked number 1 by the WBO? Besides both coming out of Puerto Rico, who did he beat to deserve that number 1? And that's a very solid question. The reason being is that, like I said previously, that's why I always, you know, do live streams on the ranking system, because we really don't know what the criteria is based off surface level information that we're able to access on a regular basis. Xander Zayas has been moving up the ranking systems based off mediocre names. Okay. I mean, experience, but okay names. Not bums, but they're just mediocre names. They're not top high level. And I explain this to people that when it comes to boxing, the sanctioning body rankings is very dense. It may be top 15, but the numbers look good. It gets very shallow. You can say every sanctioning body gets a bit shallow at 6 or 7. At 6 or 7, they get very shallow. So to see Xander Zayas up there in line to get that title shot, I mean, that's right. I mean, so is Charles Conwell. You know, Charles Conwell was just ranked number 1. You know what I'm saying? He was just ranked number 1, I believe, not too long ago in the WBC at 154 pounds. And then he's ranked number 5. But yeah, he's ranked number 3 over the WBO behind Josh Kelly and Xander Zayas. I don't know how or what. Maybe the check didn't clear. You know, just like that person mentioned, you know what I'm saying? Maybe the check didn't clear. Maybe they didn't send the right amount. Maybe they initially told them, hey, we need 25 grand, but they sent them 7 grand. And they say, you get the rest on the back end. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they gave them the back end speech. Hey, man, We'll send the rest on the back end, man. Let us pick up these checks, keep us high in the rankings, and get this fight. And then we'll send you the rest on the back end. Be patient. That's all we can tell you. Be patient. But that's a good question. Why is Xander Zayas up there? Yeah, they lined him up for a title shot, man. They lined him up for a title shot. Terrence Crawford is the interim champion at the WBO. I mean, in the WBO sanctioned body. Would people pay to see Xander Zayas and Terrence Crawford? Absolutely. Absolutely, they will. I would definitely enjoy seeing the young lion come up there and beat the pride, the head of the pride. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? In his mind. I would love to see the young lion go up there and fight. You know what I'm saying? Sebastian Fundora, Terrence Crawford, one of them. You know what I'm saying? I think he lose to both of them, to be honest. I think he lose to both of them. You see, Xander Zayas is ranked number 6 in the IBF. You know what I'm saying? That'll be a nice little fight. You know what I'm saying? Xander Zayas to go in there and fight Tim Tszyu, Josh Kelly, or Erickson Lubin. I like that fight. There was another comment that Marlon King was saying about 135 and 147 want to stay irrelevant. Now, the wild part about 135, 140, and 147. I know you mentioned 35 and 47, but I'm grouping them together because all of them are displaying the same type of inactivity. Even at 35, we don't have any fights lined up on the manifesto for 2025 for champion versus champion. At 140 pounds, champion versus champion, what is the schedule looking like? For 147 pounds, what is the schedule looking like? What is the schedule looking like? Well, I mean, we understand that Mario Barrios is set to face. Now, let me look it up right quick. I just had it on the tip of my tongue, man. Mario Barrios. He's due to fight Abel Ramos. You know what I'm saying? Not to be confused with Abel Sanchez, Triple G's former trainer. Okay. He's due to fight 28-6-2. Abel Ramos. This is freaking Mario Barrios. And of course, you know, Stanthionis is lined up. Stanthionis is lined up. I think 15-09 knockouts. They don't have his fight posted yet. But I thought he was lined up for an upcoming fight. 30 years old. You know what I'm saying? Stanthionis need to get on the ball too. If he plan on, you know, doing something at 47 and however that works out. And of course, you know, you got Ennis and you have Brian Norman Jr. Mario Barrios is set to face November 15th, Abel Ramos. So him and Jaron Ennis is both fighting this month. You know, Jaron Ennis up first next week, and then Mario Barrios, Abel Ramos. As far as Norman Jr., not sure when his return date, his ETA, nor do I know who is Stanthionis facing next. But 135, 40, 47, it seems like there's nothing on the manifesto for champion versus champion. 54, you know, it's still on the tarmac. They still waiting for clearance for takeoff. Possibly we may have Errol Spence in 2025. We really don't know. They still giving out peanuts, and people like getting frustrated because they haven't got the clearance to take off yet. So they've been on that runway for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Kids are doing their schoolwork on the runway, waiting for Sebastian Fundora and Errol Spence. And then, you know, we had Crawford move up and face Madrimov, of course. And then we had Bakram go out there and stop Tim Tszyu. But when it comes to the champion versus champion, yeah, Spence was a former champion in 47, but we're waiting for the divisional champions to see if they're going to lock horns. That's what we want to see in 2025. Who's going to be next at 2025 at 154 pounds? And then there's no need to really talk at 60. No need to talk at 68. We just seen what happened at 75. And depending on how the negotiation is, we will see a potential rematch part 2 with Beterbiev and Bivol, you know. But besides that, anything happened in 130, 126. I mean, we have a newie, you know. I mean, hey, I can't go down there. I mean, there's nothing really going down there except fights happening and this, that, and the other. But, you know, the hottest division is what I mentioned, 35, 40, 47, and 54. 35, 40, and 47, we still waiting on permission to leave the runway on that. I know we ain't Monty King out here talking about politics, bro. I'm not too pressed if Crawford goes for undisputed 154. No anybody can and won't deny his legacy regardless of Canelo. Yeah, I've been trying to stay away from that. You know what I'm saying? I've been trying to stay away from, you know, the whole what we potentially may see since, you know, the agreement was made for Sebastian Fundora. I just been laying low on even bringing that up for conversation. Why? Because it's just like just talking. Just I don't know what direction we at now. I don't know who's Crawford fighting next. I don't know when we're gonna see if Sebastian Fundora and Spence is definitely gonna be, you know, locked up. We don't know. Shooting comparison, who Canelo face? You calling Canelo a duck? But hey, shout out to MKB man for and Trump for interacting with the topic. I appreciate it. Real talk, appreciate it. I saw something in here, but I didn't see it. Let me see. I know I ain't tripping, man. Shout out to the News by Shaw News Sauce Experience, man. I was like, damn, I saw Toby say something, but I guess I strolled down too far past it. Shout out to the News by Shaw News, man. Team Tucker got the win on this weekend. You know what I'm saying? Great job with the team overall, with the media and everything. Putting it out there. Great work, man. Great work. Solid. Coach Reen did a thing. No doubt about it. But hey, y'all, shout out to the hottest chat in the MF and game, man. Appreciate y'all pulling up. It was mentioned. Hold on for a second. Where is it? Let me stroll through here. Before I get up out of here, let me stroll through here, okay? Because we're getting closer to having a new CIC, okay? Being the Martin King mentioned it, who he voted for, we are in the process of going through change once again. You know, so let me make sure I clear. Let me see. Fine word, Boo Sanders and Bam Rodriguez, current obligation and future temptations. I wanted to say shout out to Gabriela Fundora again for becoming undisputed. Her and her brother, Sebastian Fundora, are both unified champions. You know what I'm saying? That's history right there. That's legacy, y'all. For both of them, that's legacy. I don't know if y'all really paid attention or heard that Queensberry Promotions signs a multi-year exclusive broadcast deal with the Zone. So, you know, I was on another channel earlier, you know what I'm saying, banter. And that's why I heard this first. Queensberry Promotion in the Zone. You know what I'm saying? This is why I heard it first break. That's going to be very interesting. Queensberry is coming over to the Zone now. Ooh. making some moves, y'all. I understand that the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fight is supposed to be coming up real soon, but I really don't have too much to say about that. I hope Mike Tyson don't go in there and it's a spectacle. I really don't want to see Mike take any damages, and Jake Paul getting credit for going in there knocking out a legend. I mean, I just don't want to see that at his age, 58 years of age, for Jake Paul to get that much media press. And, Mike Tyson, um, he may put himself in a more serious position. I mean, serious situation than he initially guessed, medically wise, health wise. It's a lot of people that's talking about, the Floyd Schofield win. He was in there with a tough Mexican fighter, man. You just can't go in there and say, okay, this Mexican fighter has never been stopped. And you're not a knockout artist, but you're going in there trying to knock him out. Sometimes it may work, sometimes it don't. But old boy proved he had a solid chin. You have fighters like that all the time. They just can't make it to the championship level, but they're tough. Man, they're super tough. And Renee was super tough, man. He took some shots. He took some shots. And Murataya, man, looked very good in stopping Perez. That seemed like he treated him like he was straight out the YMCA. I mean, he looked tough. Y'all, they need to keep their eyes open for Murataya, for real. I mean, that dude looked impressive. Perez looked like he didn't belong in the professional ranks with a fighter of that caliber. And then I also wanted to bring this to y'all attention that Frank Warren has also mentioned that he wouldn't mind seeing a fight between Fabio Wardley and Anthony Joshua. So imagine this. Fabio Wardley has some momentum just like Daniel Dubois a little bit. Daniel Dubois earned that momentum off Jarrell Miller, who was coming back to boxing off suspension and everything, right? Much bigger fighter, pressure fighter, and Dubois stopped him in the final seconds, right? Then you look at what he did to Philippe Perkovic. Well, Fabio Wardley is going in there for a rematch against Frazier and destroys him. Now it seems like Wardley is basically inside that bubble of momentum, just like Daniel Dubois. So now you have people that, hey, we want to see Wardley fight Dubois. We want to see Wardley fight Anthony Joshua. Who would y'all like to see Wardley fight? That's my question. Who would y'all like to see? Or y'all still, looking at it like, oh, I really don't care. You should care. That guy looked good against Frazier, bro. So he fought very well. It was up to me. I would definitely like to see him fight Daniel Dubois. Of course, people are going to say, well, just because Wardley beat Frazier, that's not Oleksandr Usyk. That's not Joe Joyce. You know what I'm saying? That's not Philippe Perkovic. That's not Jarrell Miller. A lot of people when it comes to who Fabio Wardley beat Frazier, they're gonna say, well, Daniel Dubois, and that's not this, and this. Daniel Dubois has better opposition, better resume. So just because he beat Frazier, he should get a shot at the champ. They're gonna say that. But then again, you look at Anthony Joshua. Frank Warren put that out there. He said, I would like to see possibly Fabio fight Anthony Joshua. And Joshua's coming off a devastating loss, a termination, resignation, annihilation, and became a part of the Canvas Nation. Will people deny Wardley stepping in there with Anthony Joshua? It's a good fight to me. I'd like to see it. I like to see it. Real talk. Wardley goes in there and get an Anthony Joshua on his record. Win column. He's moving. But I'm pretty sure Wardley is saying, like, I want to fight Dubois right now. Strike where the iron's hot. I want to fight him right now. Frank going ham, Queensberry powerhouse and matchup these days. Yeah, Queensberry over there, signing with the zone. That's going to be very interesting. Real interesting. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? AJ too strong for Wardley. I mean, it's not like AJ's the clinch master. It's not like AJ fights on the inside like that. If you're talking about too strong as far as punching power, well, shit, I can say, yeah, he still has some sting because he was able to catch Dubois. Still he was able to catch Dubois flush and shook him up a little bit, but Dubois definitely touched him on the chin. And hey, MKB, the results were not the same as we witnessed. The results were not the same. And MKB talking about Fabio Wardley is a British champion. I believe he is. To be honest. I think for sure he's a British champion. Next time I go to the local pub, I'm definitely asking around. Anyone up here know Fabio? Is he next time he's going to be on deck? I just have to talk to him for a minute. I'm not going to get into Davis versus Roach. I'm still waiting on somebody to debunk what I said about the live the other day. I'm still waiting on somebody to debunk that. Please feel free. But they're definitely still trying to make that fight. But shout out to the hottest chat in the MFN game. Appreciate y'all for pulling up as always, man. Y'all hold it down and continue to support. Hit the like on your way out. Until next time, man. Peace.